Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. The House of Windsor is facing a crisis that just won't die down. At the center of the storm is one man, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the king's disgraced brother. For years, the royal family has tried to manage the fallout from his connection to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, but the old way of doing things isn't working anymore. Now, with the monarchy's reputation on the line, King Charles is being forced to make a move his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, was famously reluctant to make. He's about to play a final, drastic card. So, what is this move, and will it be enough to save the crown? The crisis flared up again in early 2026 with the release of the latest batch of Epstein files. Emails from Prince Andrew's time as the UK's special trade representative have come to light, showing him discussing potential business deals with Jeffrey Epstein. While on official trips, including one to Kuala Lumpur, Andrew was reportedly in touch with the financier about a business partnership. This wasn't just a personal misjudgment, it involved his official public role. In response, the anti-monarchy group Republic filed a formal complaint on February 3, 2026. They didn't just rehash old news. They accused Andrew of trafficking a woman to the UK in 2010 for the purpose of sexual exploitation, a serious offense under the Sexual Offences Act 2003. The complaint also pointed to the potential for misconduct in public office. As a result, Thames Valley Police confirmed in February 2026 that they were assessing the information to see if a full criminal investigation is needed. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from a moral failing to a potential criminal matter. The palace's long-held strategy of saying nothing and waiting for the storm to pass was clearly failing. The constant cycle of headlines has left the monarchy looking compromised, and the damage isn't just sticking to Andrew anymore. It's starting to tarnish the crown itself. To really get how big of a deal this is, you have to look at the playbook Charles inherited from his mother. Queen Elizabeth II weathered plenty of scandals, but her approach to Andrew was different. He was widely seen as her favorite son, and her strategy could be summed up in one word: protection. Even after a 2011 photo showed Andrew with Epstein after his conviction, the Queen's support seemed unshakable. When Andrew settled a civil sexual abuse case with Virginia Giuffre for a reported £12 million, it's widely believed that the Queen helped fund a large part of it to avoid a humiliating public trial that would have been devastating for the monarchy. Her instinct was always that of a mother. In a move that was both powerful and controversial, she had Andrew escort her at Prince Philip's memorial service in 2022. It was a silent, defiant signal of family loyalty over public opinion. While reports suggest it was Charles who pushed for Andrew to be sidelined from public duties, the Queen's protective instincts often won out. She would strip titles when she had to, but she never truly cast him out. She contained the problem. She never tried to remove it completely. The idea of publicly cooperating with an investigation that could put her own son in a courtroom? That was a line she would never cross. And that is exactly the line that's being crossed now. King Charles seems to be tearing a page out of his mother's royal playbook. This isn't just a new strategy, it's the sign of a new monarchy. Before we break down exactly what this final card is and what it means for the future, make sure you're subscribed and have hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss where this story goes next. King Charles can see the writing on the wall. His mother's strategy of containment and family loyalty just isn't cutting it anymore. The scandal has become a cancer on the institution, and it seems the king has decided it's time for surgery. He's playing the one card Queen Elizabeth always kept in her back pocket, letting the law run its course. Unlike his mother, Charles is creating distance. He has reportedly pushed Andrew to leave his long-time, grace and favor home at Royal Lodge, which is owned by the Crown Estate. Andrew's titles were stripped away back in 2022, and he is now known simply as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. These moves physically and symbolically separate him from the official heart of the monarchy. But the real break from his mother's era is the lack of royal interference. By allowing the police to assess the complaints without a protective wall of silence from the palace, Charles is sending a clear message. No one is above the law, not even his own brother. He's gambling that accountability, no matter how painful, is the only path to restoring public trust. He is choosing his duty to the crown over devotion to his brother, a choice his mother was never fully prepared to make. So, why the tough new stance and why now? The simple answer is that King Charles is running out of options. Waiting for the storm to pass has failed. Every new revelation brings the scandal roaring back, doing what some royal commentators call generational damage to the monarchy's reputation. This pressure isn't just coming from the outside. We're seeing a clear generational divide within the royal family itself. Prince William, the heir to the throne, reportedly shares his father's more pragmatic and ruthless approach. He understands that the future of the monarchy depends on severing ties with the toxicity of the Andrew scandal. This signals a major shift, with the future king clearly aligned with his father's institution-first strategy. By allowing the process to move forward, Charles is trying to lance a boil that has poisoned the family for years. The risk is huge. A formal investigation could lead to even more damaging details coming out. But the risk of doing nothing is even greater: the slow, agonizing death of public respect. This move is Charles' answer to critics who have called him weak. It's a calculated gamble to show that under his reign, the firm will not protect its own at the expense of its survival. This is the core of his vision for a slimmed-down monarchy, not just with fewer working royals, but with zero tolerance for scandal. King Charles's reign will ultimately be defined by how he handles this crisis. He inherited a problem that his mother's maternal instincts may have unintentionally allowed to fester, leaving an unexplored. His decision to step back and let the legal process unfold is the most radical departure from his mother's style of rule we've ever seen. It's a high-stakes gamble to prove that the crown is capable of reform. But the big question remains: will it be enough? The damage is deep, and public trust is a fragile thing. Charles has played his last card, choosing the institution over his brother. Now, we all have to wait and see if this unprecedented move will be the masterstroke that saves the House of Windsor, or if it's simply too little, too late.